Now, when I first started my online journey, I never thought it would allow me to retire from optometry by the age of 33, but that's exactly what it did. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Travis Zigler. I am a recovering optometrist. I've sold 2 brick and mortar stores for a 6-figure exit, so multi 6 figures. And then I sold my online brand, I Love, which was a dry eye focused brand in 2021 for multiple 7 figures. And now I run an agency that is called Profitable Pineapple Ads, and that is a multi-million-dollar agency as well. Now I'm gonna pull up a picture. This is my tax return from 2021, the year I sold my business. This just is the cash that we got on hand. We also had a lot of rollover into stock options and equity into the company as well. Now I show you my tax return for one reason. You need to stop listening to the people on the internet, the gurus that claim they know how to build a multi-million-dollar business when they've never done it. And you need to start listening to people that have actually done it, which is me. I say this humbly. I say this not to brag. I say this because there are so many people out there that learn a strategy and then they teach that strategy. And unfortunately, they never implemented that strategy once in their business. I've implemented every strategy that I teach. Side note, you also need to stop listening to your family and friends. All they're gonna do is drag you down. And so if you don't wanna be drugged down, don't listen to them. Now, along with building a multi-million-dollar business of my own, a couple of them, and we've done this in 2 different spaces. We did this in the e-commerce physical products space on Amazon, especially Shopify as well, and then also in the agency world. So the strategies that I teach work. We've also done this for several hundred clients, and we focus on 3 main things: making more profit, making more cash flow, and doing this in less time so you have more time freedom. Now, I would love to tell you that everything's been sunshine and rainbows, but it definitely hasn't. In the year 2019, we actually did $3.2 million in revenue with $0 in profit to show for it. Technically, it was 28,000, but that's like 0.1%. So it was nothing. $3.2 million, $0 in profit. In 2020, we increased our revenue by 20% while increasing our profit from 0 to 600,000. And I want to go over a strategy today that we use to increase our profit by that much. There is a lot of strategies which I'll be getting into in this video series. By the way, this is video 1 in a 4-part series. And so stay tuned for video 2 as well. Now, what we're going to go over today is what I call the expense reduction method. There are so many expenses in your business that just don't make sense. And you don't realize it because you're not looking close enough at the books. I look at my numbers every single day, and I didn't realize it until I did the expense reduction method. I learned this from Mike Michalowicz in his Profit First book. And all you do with the expense reduction method is you get every single one of your expenses from the last 12 months. Put them in a spreadsheet. Now, you probably have QuickBooks, you probably have Mint, and if you don't have any of those things, I can't help you, because if you're not even that organized that you don't have Mint or QuickBooks, then you can't really do this because it's going to be harder. But you can also do it by gathering your credit card statements and everything. So hopefully you don't have a ton of credit cards. And you can do this in both your business life and in your personal life. There are expenses that are bleeding you, that there are holes in your profit bucket, and you need to fill these holes to make yourself profit more. So let me get into the strategy on how to do this. To do the expense reduction method, download the last 12 months. It doesn't matter if it's August, it doesn't matter if it's January, it doesn't matter if it's March. Download the trailing 12 months, the last 12 months of your expenses, and categorize them. So usually if you have Mint or QuickBooks, you can categorize them right in there. But if you don't have Mint or QuickBooks, then get your credit card statements, like I stated earlier, upload it into a Google Drive sheet, and then categorize them. And so there should be categories like software, team, payroll, inventory, and so on and so on. Advertising is probably your biggest. And what I like to do is I like to add up the amount into each category to see where my expenses are going. Usually what you can do is see that there are a couple expenses that are higher. The 80-20 rule applies to pretty much everything in life. The 80-20 rule is simply 20% of your inputs make 80% of your results. 20% of your customers make 80% of your revenue. 20% of your search terms and advertising make 80% of your revenue. Same things here. 20% of your expenses make up 80% of the actual expense, 80% of your costs. And so if you start at the top and look at what's really driving the expenses, you can actually start to eliminate some. So my top expenses when I was in business were advertising, inventory, team, Those are the three big ones. So what can I do to make this better? Advertising. Get more efficient with your advertising. Make it more profitable. Cut advertising channels that aren't doing anything for you. They don't have a high ROAS, and so they don't really do much for you. And then cut search terms and keywords that you think you need to go after, but just aren't profitable for you. So the easiest thing to do usually in a business like ours, in the e-commerce physical product space, is to cut advertising that's not working. The second big thing is inventory. Inventory is going to be one of the biggest expenses you have as a physical products owner. Inventory for me in the agency space is just it's the cost of goods, which is my account managers. My account managers are my cost of goods. And so anyway, if inventory is really high, go to your suppliers, negotiate a lower rate. Another thing you can do is that you can cut your products that aren't making money. So 20% of your products are producing 80% of your results. Cut the losers. 80% of your products are unprofitable and they're costing you money. So cut them. When you cut them, you're going to have more cash flow, you're going to have more profit, and you're going to be able to focus on the products that are actually working. So remember that. So we're going to cut advertising costs, get rid of the ones that aren't profitable. We're then going to find the products that aren't working for us and cut the losers. And then we're going to go to our manufacturers and ask for a discount, ask for better terms, do all that. And then finally, we're going to look at our team. Is our team really needed? The 80-20 rule applies to our team as well. 20% of your team is producing 80% of the results. So what if we cut the bottom 80%? Sounds brash, sounds harsh, but they have to perform. They have to step up because A players attract A players. And when you have multiple A players on your team, your business will take off. But if you're the smartest person in the room and you're the smartest person on your team, that's when you know you don't have A players. Now, B players will attract C, D, and F players because they want to be the smartest person in the room, because they don't understand that if you get more people that are smarter than you, your business is going to grow. A B player thinks that they have to be the smartest in the room because their ego, and they think that that's what they need. And so they'll attract people that are lower than them so they can kind of dominate them. I've experienced this in my brick and mortar store. I've experienced this in my online space as well. So we've cut advertising down, got rid of the unprofitable ones. We've cut inventory down, got rid of the unprofitable ones. To give you a quick story around that, we're working with a brand and we actually took an equity stake in this brand, and they were making about negative $40,000 per year in profit loss, $40,000 in loss. And all we did is we cut everything down to one product. That was it, one product. And I said, focus on this one product because it's already producing 80% of your revenue. Get rid of all the other ones because it's a cash flow constraint to hold the inventory of all these other products that aren't selling. So we're going to go back to focusing on this one product to build that up. Here we are a year later after starting to work with them, and we got equity stake in the company, number one. And number two, we've taken them from minus 30 to 40,000 to positive 60,000 in 1 year by doing exactly what I explained in this video. We cut advertising costs, we cut inventory costs, we cut inventory hold, which is like focusing on the products that weren't making anything, and you're holding that, it's money sitting on a shelf. So we got rid of all those to focus on the one product. And then we looked at their team. We cut their team. Again, it sounds harsh, but you have to do what you have to do. And if you have too many expenses, you're not going to survive as a business. If you don't have profit, there's no point in doing this. If you're not paying yourself, why are you doing this? That's an expensive hobby. So always start paying yourself first. Now, I hope this expense reduction video made sense, and I hope you can apply it in your business. So let me know after you do this down in the comments down below, how much money you think you're going to save in a year by going through your expenses and cutting what is absolutely not necessary. Trim it, trim it, trim it. Let me know down in the comments below. And then in video 2 of this series, I'm going to show you how I went from $1 million in debt, crippling debt, to paid off in about 3.5 to 4 years. And so that is something that I'm going to go over in video 2 of this series. So I'm going to pop this up when it's available right here, and you're going to be able to see that video. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you do that down below. And I'd love to hear from you. Again, Dr. Travis Zigler here, CEO of Profitable Pineapple Ads, and I'd love to hear from you. And then make sure you check out this next video. Thanks.